options when we disagree with the IEP or 504. You have options, you have legal options. This is a quick guide of what those 6 options are going to be for you and your family. We're not always going to agree with the IEP or the 504 team. If we haven't met, I'm Karen Mayer Cunningham, Special Education Boss, helping families navigate and negotiate the 504 IEP process. Really important that you know your legal rights. Dispute options are important. They move things forward and they reconcile or resolve issues that you might have with the district. Number 1, IEP Facilitation IEP meeting. We don't have that in every state, but we have it in some states. An IEP facilitator is sent out by the state agency or the local education agency. Their intention is to help communication and problem solve between members of the IEP committee. Number 2, mediation. Mediation is a voluntary process where both parties or one party files and asks the other party to come to mediation to resolve differences in the IEP. It's voluntary. You request it. When you request it, you list the problem and the solution. And it's a very great process for both parties to be able to move to the middle and have some liberty in what they provide. Number 3 is a resolution meeting. A resolution meeting occurs once you have filed a formal due process complaint or request for a due process hearing. It's a meeting that occurs between the school district and the parents, and it has to happen within 15 days of the filing. The intent is to get both parties together, the people that can make decisions, and resolve the differences before the due process hearing. Number 4, a written state complaint. A written state complaint is that you believe that your child was denied their rights and or there was an IDEA 504 violation. It's very detailed. You provide that to the state along with their parameters, include all the information that you have, attach it to an IDEA violation, a 504 violation, and provide documentation, experience, the IEP document to the state. The state then takes it and sends it to the school district, usually the school district attorney, and they have a shortened amount of time to respond to your written complaint. Depending on how it turns out, they could open an investigation or not. Number 5 is a due process complaint and due process hearing. Due process complaint is filed by the parent or the school district, and the responding party has to respond to the allegations. A parent has to fill this out. If you're going to due process, you certainly can represent yourself. You would probably be more successful if you had representation. There are some states that allow advocates to represent them at due process. We have that in our state. In Texas, if they have experience and know the requirements under the laws and regulations. A due process complaint process is very specific. It's timelined. There are requirements and deadlines. And the intent of that is to make sure that we just don't leave something being, put off and continued so that we can get things resolved for a student with a disability. And number 6 is an Office of Civil Rights, U.S. Department of Education federal filing, where you are alleging there's a violation of 504 and or IDEA. We're going to get into detail in the next videos on each of these 6 components specifically. But again, those are your 6 legal rights when you don't agree with a district. IEP facilitation meeting, mediation, a resolution meeting, written complaint for your state, due process complaint or due process hearing, and an Office of Civil Rights, U.S. Department of Education federal filing. Remember, at any point, we can choose to come together, compromise, and decide what's best for kids. It's about being student-centered focus. And what I know is when we get it right for the child, we get it right for everybody. And remember, we're doing one thing, focusing on successful student outcomes.